My name is Bradleywalkr, I'm a men's fitness coach from Glasgow and I cheat on my diet. To give you some idea on why I cheat on my diet, I need to take it back to the start. Growing up, I played lots of sports. I was pretty athletic, but I was always tall and thin. The way I look affected my confidence with talking to girls because I always felt skinny and weak compared to other boys. Growing up, I had this one mate who had pecs and a full-blown six-pack when we were like 14. I used to compare myself to him and think, why would girls ever talk to me? In 2012, me and him booked up to go on holiday together. It was really a holiday with his family, but we treated it like our first lads holiday. Knowing I was going on holiday with him, we were going to be chatting up girls, and I'd be walking about with my top off beside him most of the time, I was more desperate than ever to change. I had about 8 weeks before flying out with his family, so I joined the gym and hit it hard. I had no idea what I was doing. I just went to the gym, tried my best and hoped I would build some muscle. After a few weeks, some of the bigger guys started giving me some more tips and he says I needed to eat right to build muscle. That night I went home and googled how to build muscle and found the holy grail, bodybuilding.com. This website had endless information on building muscle and my research began. I searched how to get a big chest, how to grow my arms and how to get a six pack. Then I found Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor's weight gain plan online. He was my favourite hero at the time. So naturally I decided I was going to train like him. He trained every day, ate eggs for breakfast, ate plain chicken and rice twice a day, and then a ton of protein shakes in between. For the rest of the weeks leading up to the holiday, I stuck to this plan religiously and gained about 2 or 3 kilos if I was lucky. I had slightly more visible abs, and when I tensed up you could actually feel a muscle. You couldn't really see it though. But honestly, by the time I went away, I couldn't have looked at another chicken breast without being sick. When I came back from that holiday, I was still desperate to get bigger, but the strict tasteless diet had put me off. I thought to myself, how do these big muscly guys do it? They must be so much more dedicated and disciplined than me. I loved the training, but the diet side of things was just way too hard and boring. I actually remember wanting to give up because it was so hard, but I was still insecure about how I looked, and at 17, all I wanted to do was look good to impress girls. But then, one day, I stumbled across a full day of eating video by Rich Piana, RIP. This guy was the biggest and most shreddy guy I'd ever seen in my life. He was eating Ben & Jerry's every night before he went to bed. How could he be that big and ripped while eating ice cream every night? I needed to find out more, so I started watching more of his content and hearing him talking about eating big to get big and counting calories. What the fuck is a calorie? If you didn't know, a calorie is a measurement used to count the energy in food. Basic nutrition says if you consume more energy than your body's burning on a daily basis, you will gain weight. If you add protein in the mix as well as training, odds are you'll build some muscle as well. This meant as long as I was eating more than I was burning and getting in protein, I would build muscle. Okay, this seemed way more achievable. At this point, I was still very naive when it came to nutrition. All I was focused on was eating lots of food and consuming as much calories as possible. I actually ended up seeing a video of The Rock's epic cheat meal where he had a huge stack of pancakes. I actually searched, should you have cheat meals? And all the information I seen was talking about cheat meals and losing fat. I was trying to get big at this point, so I wasn't worried about losing fat. This meant in my head I could have all the cheat meals I wanted whenever I wanted. As long as my muscles were getting bigger, I didn't care. Instead of cheat meals, I would have cheat days pretty much all the time. And if you don't know the difference of a cheat meal versus a cheat day, one of them you eat good all day, then have one meal off plan. The other is you just eat what you want. To begin, this was some buzz. I have a huge appetite, I love eating, and all I was doing was eating crap. I started gaining weight fast, but I also started getting chubbier, spottier, and I felt horrible. After doing this for about a year, I gained a decent amount of weight, but a large portion of the weight gained was fat. This was my first dirty bulk. After almost a year of dirty bulking and constantly cheating on my diet, I decided I needed to lose some fat before I went on holiday. Like every gym noob, I thought I was going to shred fat fast and get lean so quick. Everyone always underestimates how much fat they need to lose, trust me. I thought I'll do a 6-week hard cut and I'll be shredded in no time. I cut down to 1500 calories because I seen some bodybuilder online doing this for his competition prep. If it worked for him, it will work for me. I stuck to it for 2 weeks and started getting mad cravings. During this time I was watching a lot of YouTube fitness vlogs and I had been following a few guys on their shredding journey. Some of them were talking about having cheat meals where they're trying to burn fat, and I searched on YouTube, should you have cheat meals to help burn fat? I seen lots of videos saying yes, they are good, but being on a starvation diet, I was not ready for a cheat meal. That cheat meal turned into a cheat day, which turned into a full weekend of binging, and I messed up all the progress I made on my first diet. To answer the question, do cheat meals help you burn fat? In a way, yes they do, because most diets are very harsh and can slow down your metabolism. So the science behind it is, adding more food in will help speed up your metabolic rate. But if you ask me, a really healthy diet shouldn't actually slow down your metabolism, it should actually speed it up. After 6 weeks of yo-yo dieting, I went on holiday having lost some fat, but nowhere near the amount I wanted, and the results I got for the effort I put in was awful. When I came back from the holiday that year, I went back to the drawing board. I didn't want to gain all that body fat again while bulking up, I preferred the lean look. Plus, trying to lose all that weight was way harder than putting it on. Terrified of gaining all that fat again and dreading going back to that Thor diet, I wondered if one cheat day a week is okay if I still eat lots of healthy food. This meant I could keep eating lots of food, gain lean muscle, and have something to look forward to with my diet. So every week I started implementing a cheat day, which sometimes turned into a whole cheat weekend. That year I'd say my diet was about 80% clean whole foods and 20% of whatever the fuck I wanted. That year I did actually make some substantial gains. I found it way more enjoyable in my diet, but I did still gain more fat than I would like to have. Then it was time to cut down again, but this time I gave myself 12 weeks and I was armed with the knowledge of cheat meals. Plus I learned my lesson of not starving myself while on a diet. This leads to gain suicide and will definitely lead to binging, meaning you'll actually just lose all the hard earned gains and not get as shredded as you wanted to. What a waste of time, avoid this. Now you're probably thinking, is a cheat meal good for weight loss? Like I said earlier, yes, but you need to do them right. This whole idea of speeding up your metabolism maybe has some science to back it up, but I don't believe it makes a significant difference to changing your physique. How can one meal really be that powerful? Your diet as a whole is the real difference maker, not one big cheat meal. In case you're wondering what is the best cheat meal, to me it needs to be a double cheeseburger, chips and a milkshake, because one, it's fucking tasty, and two, you get a crazy pump after it. And now, here's the crazy part. That year I actually got shredded with full blown abs. My muscles started to show all over my body and my veins were popping. I actually looked like the guys I seen online and I'd achieved what I once thought was impossible. My friends even started commenting on how I looked, and for once I never felt insecure about how I looked, I actually felt confident. That year, walking about on holiday with my top off, I felt like the man. Girls started complimenting how I looked, and random guys even started complimenting me too. I will be honest, there was more guys than girls, but I was just buzzing that I finally had some gains. The crazy part is, I achieved this while eating cheeseburgers, chips and milkshakes every single weekend. Now there's a few things I just want to clarify that I learned on this journey. One cheat meal won't make you fat, the same way one healthy meal won't make you jacked. Cheat meals don't speed up fat loss, or at least enough that you will notice. But cheat carefully, because one over the top cheat meal can ruin a full week's progress while dieting. Cheat meals are really great for mentally keeping you in the game by giving you something to look forward to each week with your diet. But overall, knowing you can actually get in shape while still enjoying some dirty foods was a game changer for me. My advice would be, while you're on the bulk, be a bit more lenient and enjoy 2 to 3 cheat meals per week, but keep it sensible unless you want to gain a ton of body fat while you're trying to build muscle. Then when it comes to summer and it's time to shred down, get yourself focused and only use them when you really need them. Getting solid isn't just about eating chicken, rice and broccoli all the time, right? It's about long-term consistency, and cheat meals can help with that. It's better to be consistently good rather than occasionally great. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.